Okay, sit cross-legged, be comfortable because we're going to be here for a long time. Bring your hands to the heart center, neck and spine erect. And bring your complete attention to here and now. Observe that the body is breathing, the heart is beating. Take a deep, conscious breath with Ujjayi breathing. So constrict your epiglottis. We'll do 3 Omkaras real quick. Exhale fully. Breathe in through Ujjayi. Take a deep breath. Sarvepi sukhina santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukhamapnuyat. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palms. So today being the last Sunday, we are going to devote this entire practice for pranayam and yoga, for meditation. And we're going to work on the subtler aspects of our existence. All the while we've been practicing with the body, the physical, the gross. Now we are going to move into the subtler realm of the mind and ultimately see if we can experience something beyond the mind. Okay, so that's the idea of Sunday, today, the last Sunday of the month. We'll start with our standard warm-up exercises, but for the mind and the body, which is the kriyas. All right, so today we are not doing yoga, but we're doing the subtler yoga. It is yoga, but it's a subtler aspects of yoga. So we are focusing, like I said, on pranayam. So we'll start with Kapalbhati, uh, to kind of get into this kriya, hyperventilating the body, getting a lot of oxygen. So I don't normally talk about Kapalbhati, but that has been with me since 19, I want to say 88. That's when I first learned my Kapalbhati. And it has always stayed with me, you know. And I've seen effects of it. My first mentor, yoga mentor, he's about 60 plus now. He used to explain that Kapalbhati increases your, not just your momentary intake of the oxygen, but it actually increases the oxygen throughout the day by, I mean, I don't know how they quantify it, but they say that it can increase up to 20 to 25% of oxygen intake or absorption. So it's not like you're breathing deeply or anything, but your lungs become more responsive and more interactive with the oxygen and the carbon dioxide release. So that's the thing about Kapalabhati at the physical level. And generally, when you have more oxygen, you're always alert. Your mind is sharper. You perceive things in a whole different light, and you will feel different. So uh, practice Kapalabhati every day. I would say at least in the morning for 100 times. And Vivekananda Yoga or Vivekananda Kendra, and now it is the S Vyasa, they recommend that you practice Kapalabhati 120 strokes in 1 minute. That should be the frequency of your strokes. And as I learned from different schools, the last person who talked about Kapalabhati to me about 10 years ago was Dr. Vasant Lad. He owns the Ayurveda Institute in Albuquerque, and he's written probably 25, 30 books just on Ayurveda. And he mentioned something that was a little different, which I've been practicing for the last 10, 11 years now, is to do Kapalbhati for 15 minutes nonstop. And if you do it for 15 minutes, you will probably have about 1,000 strokes of Kapalbhati nonstop. And people have adversely advocated me against doing that, but I'm actually quite comfortable doing it. So I'm just thinking, should we go in that direction today? And we can take breaks. We can take, what I do is I count Kapalbhati on my fingers. So there are 4 digits. So there are 3 digits, but 4 points, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So likewise, there are 100 and so there are 16 points on your 4 digits on your 4 fingers. That makes it 320 times if you count it. I mean, 160 times, and then 320 times on one hand like this. So the way I count it is 10, 10, 10, 10. All right. You don't need to count anything more than 10 because then the mind just gets too occupied in just counting, you know. That's not the goal. The goal is that we focus on what's happening on the body, and this becomes sort of a mechanical kind of a rosary, if you will, thing to it. So just count 10, 10, 10, 10. And eventually what happens is you don't even need to count for 10 because you know the rhythm. And you get into this rhythm and you know that in a certain time you will have finished 10 strokes. So let's do 160 out here, 160 out here, and then we take a break. Then we'll go into another 160, 160, then we take a break. Likewise, we'll come to 960 strokes. And then the last 4 digits will complete the 1,000 strokes. Okay, I think you guys have been doing this with me for a while. I don't think it should be difficult. If you feel like stopping, you can stop whenever you feel like, okay? So let's experiment something today and see what happens. I think you'll enjoy the ecstasy that comes after doing 1,000 strokes. All right. Sandeep, Prakashji, Puneet, Sule, Sanjay, and Sushil. I think we should just go for it. It's a marathon, but I think we should do it. All right. So let's start. So keep your fingers here, and as you count, initially you will need to count. So you can start from here or you can start from here, whichever you feel comfortable. I normally start with my left hand. So you can just keep on moving your finger, your thumb, according to where you are in the space. Eventually, I don't need to do this anymore, because I've been doing this for a while. Eventually, what happens is you can just focus your attention to that particular digit, to that particular digit, to that particular digit, and you know how much you've done. So again, this is just a way to kind of organize the chaos a little bit. All right. So let's sit erect, sit in Ardha Padmasana, tuck your heel into the perineum, and close your eyes gently. Keep the spine erect. And the given in all pranayam is Mula Bandha. So make sure you keep reminding your Mula Bandha every once in a while. At the end of this 160 strokes, just take stock of your body, see if your spine is erect, see if the Mula Bandha is there, and you're fully aware from within, chin parallel to the ground. There you go. Exhale fully. Breathe in half the lungs and begin. Exhale fully. We just finished 320 strokes. Keep the air out. Do not breathe in. Sit in Chin Mudra. Make sure your Mula Bandha is on. And take a deep breath. Be the silent witness to the tingling sensations all over the body. We have just pumped in a lot of oxygen in the body. The body is hyperventilated, and the oxygen has reached every cell. And these cells get excited and they give out this very subtle tingling sensations all over the skin. Just witness that. We are taking our awareness today to a whole different level. The mind would like to interfere and say, this is wonderful, this is beautiful. But that's just the mind, that's not you. Okay. We'll start the next round of 320 counts again. Exhale fully. Make sure your Mula Bandha, anus lock is there. Breathe in half the lungs and start. Exhale fully. Keep the breath out. Rechak. Bahya Kumbhak. Take a deep breath. And gently let it go with Ujjayi breathing. Constrict your epiglottis. And you may notice that the level of excitement in the cells has reached the next orbit. Just like the electrons get excited and they jump the orbit and go to the next one. Similarly, the cells are in the next orbit now, the next level, the next frequency of excitement. So normally through yoga, we stimulate the body. Through the asanas, we stimulate the body. We are stimulating the cells. We're at the cellular level at the moment. Here is one thing to ponder upon. Is Kapalabhati can make you lose weight. I know this sounds really gross, but that is a truth. When we breathe in the oxygen, and we breathe out carbon dioxide. And the more we do it, the more carbon is expelled from the body. The more oxidation takes place in the body, the more carbon is released, more fat is oxidized. And the more fat is oxidized, that much carbon leaves the body. Think in those terms. Enjoy the blissful state of tingling sensations, vibrations all over. You may want to focus all your attention to the last big toe of the feet and see if you can feel any tingling sensation over there. See if you have any sensation at the tip, at the south pole of the body, the north pole to the south pole. There's a continuous magnetic field, the flux, as they call it. That magnetic field is part of your aura. We are not just charging the body, not just having these tingling sensations, but the aura is affected at the same time. Because the energy is moving from the north to south, south to north, north to south, south to north. It's in this rhythm, in oscillations. There's a magnetic field around the body. And these are all scientific facts that our ancient yogis knew for centuries. Exhale fully, we'll do the last round, and that will drop us into 960 counts. Exhale fully. Breathe in half and begin. Take a deep breath. We just finished 960. And we'll do last 40 strokes and go into Amarakruti after that. Exhale fully. We'll do 40 strokes. Exhale, lean forward, and push your push it forward and inhale. I'm sorry, take your tummy completely in, put a mool bandha and your chin lock at the same time. Release the 3 locks and breathe in through Shitakari. Put the chin lock, release the tummy, keep the mula bandha. Release the chin lock and exhale through Jai. You may be able to feel your heartbeats wherever you bring your attention to. The blood is gushing everywhere, providing oxygen. The cells are into another whole orbit right now. And the entire body is throbbing with excitement. And just witness that. Be the silent witness from within. All the excitement, all the whirlpools, all the storms are at the periphery of the circle. Imagine that you're sitting at the center of the circle and all the chaos, all the excitement, all the throbbing is happening on the periphery. Some circles may be emanating outward, inward. Some circles may be rotating at a full speed. None of that matters. Just enjoy the joy from within. And gently open your eyes.
Amit, Sanjay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you take a couple of minutes and explain a few of the common Sanskrit terms or words that you've used so far? I'm not
Yes.
quite familiar with them, and it would be, I think, be helpful
Okay.
to understand what they are.
Okay. So the first term we used was Bahya Kumbhak. Bahya means outside. Kumbhak means a pot. So in the system of yoga, we are made out of the Pancha Mahabhut and all the elements from the earth. So one of the 5 elements is the earth element. So we are made up of the food that we eat from this planet. The bodies are made out of that food, all the nutrients that we get from the earth. So yoga system considers us as a kumbha. That means an earthen pot. So we are coming from the dirt and we go back to the dirt. Okay, so that kumbhak is what we are, and kevala kumbhak means a kumbha that is not breathing. So a bahya kumbhak, that means you're holding the breath out of your body and the body is not breathing. Then once we have hyperventilated, the body doesn't need as much oxygen. So we come to the state of witnessing the body that it is not breathing. So if you remember, initially we started observe that the body is breathing. Okay, we started the prayer that way in the beginning. I said, observe the body that is breathing. Then after the Bahya Kumbhak, after we've hyperventilated, we go into the state of Kevala Kumbhak. That means there is only Kumbha and no breathing. There is no exchange of air from within to without. So we came to the Kevala Kumbhak Sthiti when we finished the 320 counts and we took the last big breath and I said, exhale with Ujjayi. After that, there was a period when the body was not breathing. And that is one of the most crucial states of being when in Vijnana Bhairav Tantra, which is written by Shiv, and Vijnana Bhairav Tantra was given to Parvati by Shiv, right? In there, he mentions that when you are aware that you're not breathing, but you are aware that you're alive, that is one of the most breakthrough points in the state of meditation. So that is what we are trying to achieve. That is mentioned in the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra. So when you are in this Kevala Kumbhak Sthiti, so that's the second word that I use. Then I think we used, let me see if somebody wants to remind me. Then we did the Amar Kruti. Now Amar Kruti is something which is very advanced stage of pranayam. And Sanjay, I think you're new to the group, but we've been doing Amar Kruti for a while. So Amar Kruti is a very simple term. Amar means it probably gives you longer life, and Kruti is Kriya. It's a kind of Kriya. So what we did was we did hyperventilation, and then we pushed our knees down and we bent forward, and then we exhaled the last breath we exhaled, and then we pulled our tummy in, which is called Uddiyana Bandha. So we pull the tummy in as much as you can, as though it is going to hit to the spine at the back. That's the Uddiyana Bandha. Mula Bandha is your anus lock. So you pull your anus in, not very hard, but just gently in, so that the Muladhara chakra over there is stimulated by doing that action, which is also a version of Ashwini Mudra. Ashwini is you do this, contractions and release, contraction and release. But then when you hold it for a long time, it's called the Mula Bandha. So you hold the Mula Bandha, you do the Uddiyana Bandha, and then you did the chin lock, which is you're pressing the chin against your chest. That chin lock is called the Jalandhar Bandha. Bandha means there are so many, that means you're locking the energy between here and your Mula Bandha. You're basically locking your energy that is traversing between your along your spinal column until your Sahasrara chakra, and then it goes back to the Muladhara chakra, and then it goes back. So that is where the energy is oscillating. Here, what we're doing is by doing the bandha, it only oscillates between your Muladhara to your Swadhisthana, to your Manipur chakra, to your Anahat chakra, to your Vishuddhi chakra. We lock it at the Vishuddhi. We do
All
not,
this while you were breathing or you were not breathing?
not breathing.
I see.
Yeah. So when you're doing this and you're locking it in, that means you're not breathing. Okay. And then, and
Okay.
I'll tell you when to breathe. Okay. I will just, if you follow my instructions, I'll inform when to breathe in and when to breathe out. Okay. So um, that is how the Amar Kruti is done. So then you hold it there for about 10 to 15 counts. Breath out. That means you are again into Rechak. Rechak means you hold the breath out. There is no more breath inside. Purak means there is breath inside. Rechak means there is breath outside. That means there is no, the lungs are empty. So in this Rechak state, you just be there for a while, about 10 to 15 counts. Then you release your Uddiyana Bandha, and then you come back to your erect spine, get back into your Chin Mudra, and then Sitakari. Sitakari, Sheet means cool, right? When you breathe in through your teeth, what happens is there are gaps between the teeth. And when the air is going through the teeth, it compresses. And that compressed air becomes cool. That cool air goes into your lungs. That is called Sitakari breathing. That means you're taking in the cool air. And then when you do the Sitakari, you release your Uddiyana Bandha. But you never release your Mula Bandha. It's always there. Always remind yourself to put the Mula Bandha, the anus lock. Then you release your Jalandhar Bandha, you release your thing, and then you breathe in, and then it kind of gets complicated. Then once you breathe in that cool air, you put your chin lock again. And no Uddiyana Bandha, you release your tummy. That's what I'm saying. You release the tummy, you hold your breath there. Now this time you're holding the breath inside. That means it's a Purak. So you're holding the breath inside the Kumbha. And you count 10. And then you release your Jalandhar Bandha. And you gently let it go through Ujjayi. Ujjayi means, Ujjayi breathing is nothing but you constrict your epiglottis. You create friction in your throat. So you can hear yourself breathing in as well as breathing out. The way you breathe in through Ujjayi is, I'm constricting the throat here. So it creates this friction that creates that kind of melodious sound. And then you breathe out through Ujjayi. And that can be very subtle. That is only something that you can hear, that you're breathing out of, with the Ujjayi breath. And that should be absolutely controlled. That should be so controlled as though you're leaking air. Like a cycle's tube leaks air, you don't know when it is leaked out. 2 days later, you go out there and it's a flat tire. That's the leaking air. So you leak the air gently, you control it completely. And then within that, you are the silent witness at the same time. You're completely in a state of observation that Everything is being witnessed from the center of your periphery. Everything that we are doing, everything that is happening is only happening at the periphery. It can never happen at the center. The center of the storm is always calm. So I hope that answers your questions, Sanjay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we're going to go to Bhastrika. Bhastrika breathing is another hyperventilating exercise. So you sit in Adi Mudra like this. This is how we were in mom's womb. That's why it's called the Adi Mudra. This is how we are born. And now we're going to do the bellow breathing. And then after we count 15 bellows, we're going to go into Mahabandha. Mahabandha is a similar thing that we just did. That means we do the tri-lock. Mula Bandha, Jalandhar Bandha, and Chin lock, which is, Mula Bandha, Udyana Bandha, and Jalandhar Bandha. All of these three locks is called, combined together is called the Mahabandha. When you do the Mahabandha, bring your complete focus to the Manipur chakra, which is at your navel. Okay, bring complete your mental attention to the Manipur chakra. Okay, here we go. So the way we do it, you sit like this, you breathe in, and you forcefully exhale like this, forcefully, like a blacksmith is doing his bellows and heating the stump, heating the fire out there. Sorry, who is this? So you do this in Iyengar's language. All of these kriyas that we're doing, they are the pneumatic tools. The pneumatic tools that you use to change the tire of your car. That's super powerful. And they bring about certain changes in the body, certain changes in your psyche, certain changes in your chidakash when you close your eyes. So what we're doing is we're doing this internal cleansing of the psychological knots. Those psychological knots do not rest very very quiet. They're constantly bothering us. That botheration comes to our mind and makes our minds restless. We're constantly restless. We want to constantly do something. Eat something, go for a walk, do the exercise, go for shopping, buy something, be on the computer, phone screen. There's constant this restlessness of the mind. Calm down. That's what we're doing here. We're calming that mind down. How are we calming? By nipping the roots. You cannot quieten the tree by taking the scissors and cutting the branches. It will, in fact, grow even more with full force. It is going to revenge. That's what the mind operates. You calm the mind down by just forcing it, it's not going to happen. So you have to go to the roots. And where are the roots? The roots are those knots in your basement. Where is the basement? The basement is the subconscious mind. So that is where we are working. We are working on these psychological knots, the memories of the past. Those memories are like volcanoes. They're like constantly burning. We don't even know. We're not even aware. That is the inward journey meditation does. Okay, so we'll do the Bhastrika into Adi Mudra, 15 counts. We'll do them 3 rounds like this. All right, here we go. Put the tri-lock. Take a deep breath and let it go. One second round. Adi Mudra. and start. Put the tri-lock. Breathe in through Jai and let it go through Jai. Last round. Adi Mudra. Exhale fully, tri-lock. Breathe in and let it go through Jai. Constrict your epiglottis very gently, consciously. Release the air. Leak the air out through Jai. Very good. Okay, so we will do 3 types of Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi has many meanings. One of them is to brighten up. The other schools of thought, they say Uttajai, ascension, also means that. So what we are going to do now is we're going to just keep your hands in Chin Mudra like this. Very gently, just rest them. The type 1 Ujjayi breathing is what we're going to do. And those of you who are new, please pay attention to the instructions. Exhale fully. Now, while breathing through Jai, constrict your epiglottis so much that it makes this melodious sound while breathing in. And then, while breathing in, we are going to make the inward journey along the spine from Manipur chakra to your Anahat chakra. That's it, along the spine. Okay. Imagine that you're making an ascension, Uttajai, making an ascension from Manipur to Anahat along the spine. Okay, while you're breathing. While you're breathing out, make the descension from Anahat chakra to Manipur chakra along the spine at the back. Okay. So exhale fully. Bring your attention to the Manipur chakra and start breathing from there in Ujjayi. So what I just did was a very gross level of Ujjayi breathing out. So I'm creating kind of vibrations out here with a deep throat noise. Like that. If you don't want to do that, you can just do the Ujjayi breath out without making any noise. That's also okay. All right. We'll do one more round. Exhale fully. Bring your attention to the Manipur chakra and breathe in with Ujjayi. So there are 72,000 energy meridians in the yogic system in the body. 72,000 of them. Each one of them has a name, and I don't know where to research that and where to find it. If you guys find it, please share it. But if you keep dropping, there are 108 meridians which are important. 24 meridians are important. You will find these names in Iyengar's book. Then, if you go down, the last three meridians are very important. So there is Ida and the Pingala meridian, which is crossing at every chakra. Okay, it crosses. It starts from the Muladhara chakra at the base of your spine, and they cross at Swadhisthana, they cross at Manipur, they cross at Anahat, they cross at Vishuddhi. At Vishuddhi, they will come to your Agnya chakra. Okay, and I believe, and I may be wrong, but at Agnya chakra, it basically changes and does this final twist so that your left brain is connected with your other side of the body. This brain is connected to this side of the body. Okay, so you have the Ida and the Pingala, the left and the right. Right is heaty, the left is cooling. But in the brain, the Ida and Pingala are the opposite. Your left brain is the chattering mind, the right brain is the creative mind. Okay, so there is a whole different science to that. I don't think I can cover all of that today. But the three nadis, the Ida, Pingala, and the Sushumna nadi. The Sushumna is the conduit at the center of your spine. There is Chitrini and there is Vajroli. So there are again these three sheaths around it. So the Sushumna is protected through the sheathing. These sheaths are called the Vajroli and the Chitrini. Inside that, at the core of it, is the Sushumna that goes up. So your energy from Sahasrara to the base of the Muladhara chakra is constantly going this and that. But what happens is sometimes, because we have all these psychological knots, right, that there are blockages along the movement of the energy. It cannot freely flow. And through the Ujjayi breathing, just now what we just did, I said, let's travel from your Manipur chakra to your Anahat chakra. We are trying to cleanse those psychological knots in here. Now, psychological knots is nothing but the sanskars. They're also the prarabdha. They're also your past lives, memories from the past lives, the past life regression, as they call it in the science. That past life regression is nothing but you're basically going into your past lives, your past memories, and all of that. There's all this cumulative effect of why the mind is restless all the time. We're trying to cleanse this by doing that. Now, you've seen a welding rod, right? A welding rod, when it touches the metal, it just sparks. It just sparks. So you've seen the sparkle that we do it in Diwali. You can imagine that that sparkle is traveling all the way up and down, up and down along the Sushumna Nadi, which is the core of the spine, which is the core of your nervous system. That is where all the sanskaras are blockages in our system. So that's what we are cleansing now. Now in the Madhya Ujjayi, we're going to go from here to there, to your Vishuddhi chakra. Okay, from Anahat to Vishuddhi. Then in the Urdhva Ujjayi, we will go from Vishuddhi to your Agnya chakra. Okay, that's the journey. So we will have cleansed Vishuddhi to Manipur, all of that entire journey. You may, if we are lucky, we may feel that energy going up and down freely at the end of the day. Okay, so what is Madhya Ujjayi? Madhya Ujjayi. So Madhya Ujjayi is, you take your hands like this and put them on your waist at the back. Your elbows need to go that way so that your chest expands. See if you can touch your thumbs at the back of your torso, at your waist. See if you can touch your thumbs and pull your chest bright like that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing again with the Ujjayi breathing and Ujjayi breathing out. So this time around, we're going to start with the heart center, the heart chakra, the Anahat chakra, and then we're going to make the journey to the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the base of your throat. You see this here? That's the base of the throat. That's where along the spine is the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the psychic center. All right, here we go. So exhale fully and breathe in through Ujjayi. Release your hands. And the last one we'll do Urdhva Ujjayi, and then we'll begin the meditation. Urdhva Ujjayi, fold your hands like this. Now we are going to make journey along the spine. We will go along, we'll touch on the center, your crown chakra, and then we'll come down onto your Manipur chakra. Vishuddhi chakra right here. This is where your journey is going all the way to the base of the spine, your throat. Okay, along here, over, we stop here, and then we make the reverse journey back all the way to the back here. Okay, to the neck. So hold your hands like this, exhale fully, and synchronize your breathing the way you move your hands. That's a very good practice. So, and then that synchronization will also help you visualize the sparkle or the welding rod along the spine, cleansing all the blockages along there. Okay, here we go. Exhale fully, bring your attention to the Vishuddhi chakra at the base of your throat, along the spine. Breathe in one more time. Last time. With that, we just finished 1 hour of very basic pranayam. Some of that was a little bit advanced, but I think you can release your feet, and because we're going to sit another half an hour in meditation. So stretch your feet, stimulate them, get the blood flow glowing again. If you need to take a bathroom break, also fine. So I've been following many mentors. One of them is, in the last 2 years, I started reading quite a bit, is Ramesh Balsekar. And Ramesh Balsekar was this disciple of Nisaragdatta Maharaj, who they both were in Mumbai. Nisaragdatta was a very simpleton guy selling BDs. You know what a BD is? Like one of those cigarettes that in India they have wrapped it in tobacco. That's what he was selling. And one of his friends one day said that, why don't you come see my mentor, my yoga mentor or guru? And he just generally went there and, took the mantra, whatever his guru gave him. And he took that so seriously, and he practiced with such devotion that he actually got enlightened. Since that day, his name was Nisargadatta Maharaj. And he was hardly educated. He hardly spoke full sentences, if you really think about it. I've seen his videos. He speaks only in Marathi language. And even then, it's very difficult to understand for me. So he got Ramesh Balsekar to kind of interpret what he was trying to say in Marathi as well as in English. And ultimately, Ramesh landed up writing a book called I Am That for Nisargadatta Maharaj. And I'm going to read a quote from somebody posted it the other day, and I thought that was really amazing quote, and we should hear that and then go into meditation and see if we can practice it, or see if we can be. So it's very, very interesting. Okay, let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, there you go. He says, you need not worry about your worries. Just be. Do not try to be quiet. I think this is very profound. Do not try to be quiet. Do not make being quiet into a task to be performed. So he's saying, do not try to be quiet. Do not make that into a task that is to be performed. Don't be restless about being quiet. See how subtle it is? It's really amazing. Don't be restless about being quiet. Miserable about being happy. Do not be miserable about being happy, because you're living your normal life and then somebody says, oh, you got to be quiet, you got to be happy, and you might very well be happy and very well be quiet, but suddenly now it dawns upon you that you have to do something to be happy, to be quiet, and that doing makes you even more restless, because the more you do, the more restless your mind is going to be, and the more restlessness is going to create, and then you are wondering, why am I not happy? It's kind of like a self-inflicted, counterintuitive kind of way of trying to be happy. Okay. So he says, don't be restless about being quiet, miserable about being happy. Just be aware that you are, and remain aware. Do not say, yes, I am aware, or I am happy. Do not even say that. Do not even say, what's next? There is no next in I am. It is the timeless state of the being itself. So with that, I think we should, with that in mind, because what happens is the mind is such a tricky, conniving, like a sly fox, if you will. It wants to interfere, you know. So this is where Krishnamurti says you need to be in the choiceless state of awareness. Choiceless. Who makes the choice? The mind makes the choice. So to be in the choiceless state of mind is the blissful state. Okay, so with that, let's get into Chin Mudra, Chin Mudra and Ardha Padmasan, or Padmasan, whatever you want to do. Now, I've realized that Brahmari actually helps quite a bit of quieting the mind. So we'll do a quick 1 or 2 rounds of Brahmari and then we'll sit quietly. The Brahmari means the bee, the honey bee, or any bee that makes this sound when it's flying around, So we're going to make that imitation of that Brahmari sound by plugging your ears with this little part that is here. You plug that like this, you fold it inside. Okay. So you use your thumb to close that. Touch your middle finger at the Agnya Chakra. Put your index finger on the top of the eyebrows. With the ring fingers, gently close your eyes and the eyelids. And let the pinky just rest on the cheeks. This is the Shankhamukhi Mudra. And exhale fully. Breathe in. And when you're making the B sound, it's actually the N sound. It's not even the M sound. It's a N. Why is it N? Because the N sound, you have to touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth. When you touch the roof of your mouth with the tongue, from M, it becomes the N, N-A sound, like that. So put your tongue to the upper buccal cavity, upper palate of your mouth. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. Take a normal breath first. And take a deep breath. Last one. Take a normal breath. Take a deep breath. Sit in Chin Mudra. And listen to the echoes of the Brahmari. And bring your attention to the body's breathing again. We started with knowing the fact that the body is breathing. We acknowledged it. We noted it. We acknowledged that the body is breathing. Bring that same acknowledgement back. We manipulated the breath all this while. We stimulated the body, the cells, through ventilation, hyperventilation, manipulation. So we entertained the engagement of the mind in bringing about certain level of order and certain amount of manipulation. And now we drop it. Take that glove from your hand, the glove of the mind from your hand, and just drop that glove. And just observe the thought process. You observe the breath going in and the breath coming out on its own accord. The thoughts are on their own. We don't bring the thoughts, they just arrive from somewhere. They just come and go, come and go. Observe that thought process. Just like the breath comes and goes, comes and goes. Drop all the doership. The mind is a doer. By being a silent witness of the thoughts, of the breath, there is nothing for the mind to do. So it starts wandering in the past, in the future, in the past, in the future. And remind yourself about what we just read. Any movement inside is of the mind. Any movement outside is of the body. Recognize it. See it clearly like daylight. In the broad daylight, we see things very clearly. Likewise, we get used to the darkness of the Chidakash eventually. And we'll start seeing things very clearly. All these psychological knots, just observe them, do nothing about them. Doing is action. Action is of the mind. We are completely left alone. Loneliness is of the mind. Being alone is of the being. Completely left alone. And we are comfortable in being alone. We are highly uncomfortable in being lonely. Observe the breath. Let's not try to manipulate the breath anymore. And then the breath will become subtler, subtler. At some point, you may feel the body is not breathing. You are in a complete mode of acknowledgement. That's it. Complete mode of taking note of everything and not reacting to it. Reaction is of the mind. You may notice there are gross sensations in the body. You may notice there are subtle sensations in the body. Just take note of that. Choiceless awareness. Don't make any choice that you like it or don't like it. Everything comes to complete standstill inside. Notice how the mind tries to interfere. The silence. Mind wants to survive. Wants you to wear those gloves again. And you ignore that. And in that ignorance, there is no choice. The pure state of being is choiceless awareness. Take a deep breath. And join your hands to the heart center. Anjali Mudra. Take a deep breath and we're going to say Omkar. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu Purushakaram Shankha Chakra Siddharinam Sahasrar Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Hari Om. Rub your palms. Well, thank you so much. Happy Dasera to you all.
Thank you,
And
thank you, Jish. Same to you.
today ends my fasting. I've been fasting for last 9 days on fruit and water mostly.
Oh, for
And
Navratri.
for Navratri, yes.
Oh, good.
And today is Dashera, so I'm going to eat something more solid. But I tell you, I went through an amazing journey in the last 9 days. It started with
Yeah, I can see the difference in your body.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I lost about 9 pounds in the process, so probably that is what you're seeing. But most importantly, subtle changes happened inside. So, if you read the text, they say that you are what you eat. And I did sort of touch base upon it a little bit. I did get some direct experiences about what that really means. And for the last 9 days, I've felt calmer, quieter. Not even once I got too excited. If things go not my way, it's okay. Nothing mattered. Um, my mind was much quieter. Um, the other thing, I thought that the body was quieter too. You know, I never belched even once. I never burped. I never yawned. I felt energetic. Always. You're allowed to have some coffee or tea, and that's okay. But in general, I think it was very nice. It sort of detoxed my body, just eating apples, bananas, and fruit, but not sugary fruits. You can eat as many berries as you like. You don't want to eat mangoes and pineapple and watermelons and those sugary fruits. So, and it was amazing. So it does affect. I realize it does affect your thoughts. The state of body does affect your thoughts. What you eat does affect your thoughts. And I can affirm that. I can vouch for it now. All this while, I was probably thinking that, yeah, maybe it is right. But I think I can say it is correct. And I think I invite you all to kind of do this detox for 8 or 10 days, whatever you can do. And